When I started, the total number of deaths in the country from overdose deaths was probably about 15,000. Now it's 110,000. It's pretty humbling to think about 50 years of a country dealing with a problem. Hundreds of billions of dollars have been spent, and we've gone from 15 to 120 deaths a year. Now, people will say, you know, they don't like the idea of discouraging the use of other drugs, but I do, and I think that is the way to do it. You stigmatize the use, not the user. Ronald Reagan was elected, and his wife invited me down to the White House to talk about drugs. I was met with Nancy Reagan in the White House, and I talked to her about straight, among other things, and she was interested in that. And so she went down to visit it, and her staff told me that this is the first time she had traveled alone to do something like this, always before she'd gone with her husband. How do people who have an addiction problem deal with it? What are the options for them? There is a real problem in the public understanding about methadone and thinking that the person is still actively using a drug when they're taking methadone. They don't understand that there's no brain reward from that. There's no impairment from that. This is changing the world and life on Earth because of this epidemic. And what is it? It's the use of chemicals to artificially stimulate brain reward, to essentially hijack the brain's pleasure center, which is biologically in our brains for two major reasons: sex and food. If you got China out and Mexico out, there would be no end to the other suppliers of fentanyl. Fentanyl is easy to make. It doesn't come from a plant that you have to plant somewhere. It comes from a laboratory. You can have the darn laboratory anywhere. It doesn't have to be in China. It doesn't have to be in Mexico. It can be anywhere. The only way to reduce the fentanyl supply is by reducing the dollars from the fentanyl users for the drugs. Anybody who thinks methadone is the treatment is wrong. Methadone is part of the treatment. It is not just methadone. The thing that is interesting to me about this disease of addiction is it's the only disease where when you get well, you're better than you were before you got sick.